Good morning. Good morning. This is Tenacity Speaks TV. I am your host, Tenacity Speaks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to call out the elephant in the room right away and say that I woke up yesterday morning feeling under the weather. You could probably hear it in my voice. I have like a froggy throat. And so my eldest daughter and I, we have a countdown going right now to see how quickly or slowly my health will deteriorate to the point where I end up having to be hospitalized. You see, for the average person, you can get a common cold, and within a few days you're recovering and you're feeling better. Well, what is a common cold for everyone else quickly turns into pneumonia and severe asthma for me. So thank you all for praying for me, for praying my strength. And I am going to try to head off, to cut off the likelihood that I end up in the hospital. And a lot of it is not up to me. It's just my immune system. But I will certainly, start a regimen of homeopathic remedies, and as well as taking the rest when I need to rest, making sure that I'm taking my maintenance medications as needed, and the like. So regardless of how I sound, I am here and ready to come and talk to you all, and come forth with another story time. And just prior to hitting record, I was sitting here praying and thinking on what is it that I wanted to say today. And being that in my most recent video, I talked about being housing insecure and what that looks like for me. That's such a PC way of saying homeless, right? So yes, guys, I'm housing insecure. I'm homeless. I'm living currently in a homeless shelter. And so I thought, in light of having talked about that a little bit, that I would talk about some of the factors that led to my homelessness, because I didn't really get into it in the most recent video. So what I want to say is that I have been a professional for almost 20 years. My work history goes back way further than that, of course, but corporate profession for the last 20 years. In the world of HR and payroll. And I have absolutely loved my career path. I love that that it opened doors and gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I just naturally and organically progressed into the world of payroll. And it had been a very rewarding endeavor for me. And I'm very grateful for it. It allowed me to raise my children. It allowed me to get to improve my quality of life, because my finances improved over time, and I always had job security in the last 20 years. So I am forever and always going to be grateful for the world of HR and payroll and what it brought to my life and the lives of my family members. And with that said, boy, was it a devastating blow when I had to face the fact that I was no longer performing at the level to which I had expected of myself, let alone employers expected of me. That was a hard pill, you guys, to swallow. I'd always prided myself, honestly, in being, intellectual, and being able to think outside the box, and having this creative mind that can come up with creative solutions. And I love collaborating with others. And in the world of HR and payroll, there's plenty of opportunity for collaboration. And so all of these strengths that I have, I just got to naturally use in the world of payroll. And boy, whenever the day came that I had to admit to myself that I was not up to par with my own standard, let alone someone else's standard for me, that was a tough day. And I'll be transparent and say I wanted to give up, period. Like, who am I if I'm not this stellar rock star employee? Motherhood has changed. What motherhood looks like, has changed for me drastically, because I don't have small children anymore. All of my children are adults. And so to the extent that they need you, changes. Yes, your children will always need you, but they don't need me to tie their shoes and kiss their boo-boos and teach them their ABCs and go over homework with them. So the extent to which my children need me today looks so different. And so for me to have my identity tied to motherhood, and then watching that evolve seemingly overnight, that was devastating. And then, what do you mean I'm not the rock star employee that I've always prided myself in being anymore? Lack of oxygen affects our minds, and that's just a fact. Lack of oxygen can affect our memories. It can affect so many things, our emotions, and our chemical makeup and our hormonal makeup. Oxygen is what we need to thrive, and I live in a constant state of oxygen deprivation to a certain extent. And so to think that it wouldn't have an effect on my brain and on how I think and how I function and how I show up at work, was a bit naive on my part. But so I stopped being able to perform, is the short answer, to the level that I once did as it relates to my job. And that led to a series of employment opportunities that did not work out. And full transparency, I had some great opportunities. And I made my path probably harder than I had to, because I was so resistant to letting go of working. I wanted to work. It's what I know. It's what I've always done. Since I was 14 years old, I've worked. And I did not want to lose that security. I didn't want to lose that income. I didn't want to lose that sense of well-being, that I'm a positive contributing member of society. So much of who I am was caught up in what I did. And that has been stripped away. And now what's there is more true to who I really am, apart from what I did. And that process, though it has been painful, you guys, this has not been easy. I will not sugarcoat it. It has not been easy. Though the process hasn't been easy, it has been rewarding, and it has been eye-opening. It has been enlightening. It has been important for my own personal growth, for my own well-being. Truthfully, I was not managing well, holding space for work, right? And the fact that I have these health issues that require attention. I have doctor's visits that need to be kept up with, and several of them several times a week, and how do you ask an employer to be understanding that you're going to be away for an extended period of time because you have to see to your health? And people would always tell me, oh, you come first. You have to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, nothing else gets taken care of. And I used to get so frustrated, you guys, because I'd be like, well, guess what? Taking care of me looks like I've got to work. And that was the gist of it. I would work until I couldn't work any longer. I'd end up in the hospital sick because I wasn't maintaining good health in between hospital stays. I wasn't following up with doctor's visits because I literally didn't know how to be present for my job and present for my failing health. It was a very big struggle. And today I get to primarily focus on showing up for myself first and foremost. And by showing up for me, That looks like me making my doctor's visits. That looks like me taking all of my medications as they're prescribed. That looks like me doing the exercises that my physicians have prescribed for me to do. It looks like me taking time out and taking a break when I need to break, and getting a nap if I need to get a nap. It looks like hydrating. It looks like so many things today that I didn't have space for, or at least I didn't feel like I had space for when I was still working. And I am grateful for the space that I'm in. No, this is not easy by no stretch of the imagination. I mean, you guys, I am housing insecure. So clearly not working came with some pretty major repercussions for me, right? There's no two ways about that. But at the same time, I am showing up for myself in ways that I just could not seem to do before, and in the ways that are most important. And everything that they were telling me, they being all the people who care about me in my life, everything that they said as far as, you only get one you have to take care of you first, your health comes before everything. Everything that they said was absolutely true. And now I get to face those things. I get to every day do something that's beneficial for my physical well-being, for my mental well-being, and for my spiritual well-being. And these were areas in which I just could not seem to show up for myself in these areas and be this stellar rock star employee. So that is a bit of my journey and what, led to this housing insecurity that I'm currently facing. Also, some of what it's been like for me to manage having health related issues and also trying to work full time. I am very much interested in hearing from you. How do you manage it all? How are you dealing with, diagnoses that require treatment? And also, are you still working? Are you still in the workforce? Does that look like part-time work for you? Does that look like, you work on a rotating schedule? Do you do what I couldn't seem to do and say, you know what, if I don't have me, I don't have anything, so I'm going to put my health first? I am very much interested in hearing your stories and knowing how are you navigating the need for physical wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, and also showing up for the people, places, and things in your life, such as work. So this is, once again, Tenacity Speaks TV, sounding off, waiting anxiously by the devices to hear from you. Everyone have a blessed day and be encouraged.